Hello, hello, hello. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. We're going to get started in just a second in getting started live here and getting our producer on board and our technical components. I cannot hear you. You can hear me? Test, test, test. So, invite on screen. This is how we do this. Yes. Now I should be able to hear you.
Hello, hello.
There we go. Now,
good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, buddy?
How are you? I am doing awesome. Let's see. Oh, am I still hearing you? No. Back up again. Sorry about that. Reprompt. Let's see. You there? One more time. There we go. And we should come on back and because I need to be able to hear you. Awesome, awesome. I know. Come on back. You got to do something on your end. Accept the invite. Can you get back in? Come on board. All right, let's see. Right back on screen. Now you're kicked entirely out. There we go.
Now you can hear me, right?
All right. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Can you hear me?
I got it.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You ready to go?
We are ready to go. Let's rock it.
All right, let's do this.
I am not hearing music.
Now, broadcasting on Radio Star Worldwide, it's the Maverick Difference Radio Show with Paul Finck. When you want to step up and dare to be different, when you'll dare to be great and live to your fullest potential, when you are ready to dare to be a maverick and live the life of your dreams, then it's time to listen to Paul Finck.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and we are here with the Maverick Difference Radio Show every morning as long as it's Tuesday. Every morning as long as it's Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We are right here talking about what it takes to create just a magnetism in your life, an abundance, how to create the life of your dreams, how to be an entrepreneur, how to run your business, how to create more in your life, and just how to stay sane along the way and make sure that everything's happening the way you want it to. That's what this radio show is all about. And One of the key components is that we want all of you to come on board and engage with us more fully. We want to have a real conversation with you about what is going on in your life, what's going on in your career, in your business, when you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, and wanting to take it to the next level, what it's going to take to make that happen, and what's happening for you as you contemplate, consider, and just bring these application of all these components, so the strategies, the systems, processes into your life. We want to hear how it's hitting you so we can have a real conversation. Today, I want to talk about accountability and what it means for you. I titled this "Accountability Will Set You Free," and it is such an important component of our day-to-day life. Accountability, the ability to stay on task with what you say you're going to do. So in other words, say what you're going to do, and then, wow, I know this is a powerful concept, only actually do what you're going to say. It's become so rare in this country and in this world to actually follow through with that most people actually don't even expect to do what they're going to say or say what they're going to do. They don't expect it from themselves, and worse, they don't expect it from others. You see, I believe that it is to diminish somebody, to consider that they won't step up. It is to undervalue people when you don't expect them to live up to what they say, when you don't expect them to live up to what they put out there that they're going to do, when you don't expect them to actually follow through. That is demeaning. That is to consider people to be less than what they could be, and really diminishes the value of yourself and everyone around you when you don't hold them accountable, when you don't expect them to be more. So this concept of accountability is so powerful because it has everything to do with our expectations of ourselves and others. That I really expect to do what I put out there. I really expect that of myself. I also expect it of everybody around me. When they say they're going to do something, they do it. They don't just kind of do it. They don't pretend to do it. They do it. If they weren't going to do it, they tell me they have no intention of doing it, rather than this game that we play. Oh, yeah, we're going to do it, and then it doesn't happen. So what does this mean? Accountability. I want to talk about some of the components on what accountability is. And I'm going to share with you a few examples on what it's meant for me over the years and how it's really helped me develop my company, my whole attitude towards business, and really create my growth and my power within my company. And for all of you that aren't aware of some of these examples, I want to give you a little backstory. Is that I have been an entrepreneur now for 30 years. Actually, it's over 30 years now. And been an entrepreneur for 30 years in being paid my value every step of the way. So what does that mean? It means that every year, whatever my income was based on what I put out there, what I gave to other people in the way of value, in the way of service, in the way of showing up consistently. And that is real important because it demonstrated to me, well, when I value what I am, when I value what I do, and then I actually show up in that way, I get paid in return of that. And so you can track my income based on my ability to actually do what I'm going to say and then say what I do, or the other way around. is actually say what I'm going to do and then do what I'm going to say. It's so powerful. 30 years as an entrepreneur, about 15 years ago, I decided to step up, to create more in my life, to say, this is not good enough for me and good enough for my family. I'm not living up to my fullest potential. I was doing okay. Only I wasn't living up to what I could be doing. What I knew inside was possible, I hadn't gotten to that point yet. And so 15 years ago, I decided it was time, and I drew a line in the sand, and I began to contemplate what was possible, what I could do. And I began to really dial in this concept of accountability, dial in this concept of what it would take to hold me accountable, what it would take to keep me moving, to create what I knew was possible, what I knew was inside of me, to create that abundance based on my own abilities, my own skill sets, and to move it to a whole nother level. What was that going to take? See, I've been working hard. I thought I had a good work ethic. I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I was holding myself accountable, and yet the reality is that I would kind of do whatever I wanted. I wouldn't really push it. I wouldn't really do all that I could. I'd do just enough. Now, there are several people listening to this that really get what I'm talking about. When I was in high school, college, even 10, 20 years in to my entrepreneurial career, I would do just enough to create that magnitude, just enough to sustain, I should say, my bills and what I wanted to do that week, that month, that year. I didn't do more than that. Well, what was the point? I had plenty. I didn't have to. I didn't have any desire. I could take care of my bills and do a little bit here, a little bit there, and enjoy my life. And that was good enough. Well, then I had 6 kids. Then I had a whole lot more responsibility and realized that my attitude in the past was not going to work anymore. It wasn't going to work to sustain a lifestyle that I wanted, to sustain what the happiness and joy that I was looking for. I needed to hold my feet to the fire just a little bit more. That's what accountability is all about. That's what it really is. The key is just holding your feet to the fire, just holding for one more second, following through just one more time, checking off just one more thing on your to-do list every single day. That's when you know you've got accountability done and it's dialed in right. So what is accountability? Or more precisely and more importantly, instead of just defining, let's actually go through and say, okay, how can you utilize accountability techniques to accomplish more in your life, to get more in your life, to achieve beyond what you ever imagined? So about 15 years ago, I imagined that there was something more out there. And one of the first levels of accountability, one of the techniques that oftentimes gets missed in the shuffle, is actual commitment to what you want to have happen, what you want to do. What's your commitment to your future? For instance, you want to accomplish, suppose you want to double your income. Most of the people that I coach, that's their goal. And it's what I look to have happen with each and every one of my students, is to double their income in the next 12 months. to create that abundance, because that's where the magic happens. That's when you can have freedom to do everything else in your life, when you double your current income. So doubling your income, suppose you want to double your income. And so you get started. I want to double my income. Let's get going. And there are roadblocks along the way. There's stopgaps. There's things that happen that you couldn't have predicted, only there they are. They show up in your path. They show up in your way. And now what? It's going to take effort. It's going to take focus. It's going to take perseverance to get past that roadblock, to get past those mountains, those blocks in front of you. So what do? Yeah, I want to double my income. Roadblock. You know what? Maybe I don't want to double my income that badly. Maybe I don't want to move forward that dramatically. Maybe I don't want to accomplish that much, because, man, that road in front of me, that looks treacherous. That looks difficult. That looks like it's just going to give me more hardship than I possibly ever want in my life. You know what? Forget it. And they get off the bandwagon. They stop. That's it. They don't want to go for doubling their income anymore. It's the end of the story. Then what? They're out of the game. What was the challenge with that scenario? What was the challenge with our friend here? They weren't committed to the process. They weren't committed to what they were going to accomplish in the process. They weren't committed to getting the results no matter what, whatever it takes to create that in their life. They weren't committed to that. And so because of that, they got stopped by the littlest thing. It looked like a mountain, only it was really a molehill, and it was just inconsequential, only they didn't even want to bother going up to it to make sure, to test it. It looked, felt, just was perceived as this big mountain of challenge, and they stopped. So the first thing that I'm saying and I'm suggesting to each and every one of you is, when you want to hold yourself accountable, you must be committed first. You must be highly committed to where you want to go and what you want to do. When I say highly committed, I ask people this. I say, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, where would you put your commitment to be for this particular goal, task, process? What's your commitment? I want to double my income. And your commitment, when I say on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to doubling your income? Whatever it takes. They say, well, when you put it that way, a 7, an 8, even a 9. And I'll say, come back, go away, come back when it's a 10. See, I want to work with people that are 10s. I want to work with people that are highly committed. And I know that when it's a 7, 8, or 9, if it's less, it's obvious you don't want it. However, even in that range, 7, 8, 9, any major challenge in your way, you will get stopped. You will get stuck. You won't accomplish it. You'll run for the hills. So when you know that a 7, 8, or 9 is run for the hills and a 10 is accomplishment, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a level 10 or something less than? Go for it. Because when you are, that first step, committing to being a level 10 will set you free. That committing to playing full out and getting your goals no matter what, that commitment to your goals at a level 10 will ensure that you come damn close, if not ensure you absolutely will accomplish that goal. So the first step in accountability is commitment. Absolutely making that commitment first and foremost, no matter what. Who here likes my Star Wars cup? Pretty cool, huh? Absolutely commit to what you want to accomplish, what you want to do. What's next? What's the next step in the process? What do you need to do next is you're highly committed. You've created a goal, a vision, a plan of action, and you've gotten highly committed to making it happen. To level 10. Now, even at a level 10, will there be things that stop you? I'm highly committed right now at a level 10, only, oh my gosh, will there be things that might come in my way that I lower that commitment level? Because now it's gotten difficult. It's gotten more difficult than I thought it was going to be. And so I decided maybe it's not for me. When you get started and you have that excitement level of a new project or a new goal, and you did get 100% committed and know you're at a level 10, this would be awesome. It gets done. And you so want to get it done. Now it's time. At that very moment, it's time to implement your accountability that'll keep you on task even when your emotional components and your desire to make it happen is less than it is right now. You understand, I may commit to getting in shape and running a marathon today, only in a month from now, when I actually have to wake up early and go running, well, I may not be as motivated. I may not be as committed. I may not be as on task with making it happen. So that's where accountability comes in. I had the commitment and I'm highly committed day one. Well, then I implement all of these strategies for accountability. And there's several of them. However, the implementation, the putting them into motion happens as close as possible to your commitment time frame. So you get committed to something, you know what that something is, and you have this goal to get it, that commitment, the next step is create those layers of accountability over and over and over. Just create that immediately while you're emotionally high about it. Then as your emotions waver over time, it won't matter. As your emotions waver over time, you will be still on task because your accountability techniques have kicked into play rather than relying on your pure gut emotion as to how committed you are to the future. So commitment, then accountability that'll hold you on task for the long haul, that perseverance to make it happen. Say what you're going to do what you're going to say. Hold yourself accountable. So what are the things that will hold you accountable as it goes day in and day out, as it goes month in and month out? And now you're down the road and you hit an obstacle, you hit a challenge, you hit something that's in your way. You are 10 times less likely to back away because you implemented accountability practices, and before that, you committed to do whatever it takes to make that happen in your life. Key components. I'm going to go through in just a moment some of the things that I did to create a magnitude in my life. And one in particular, I decided to run a race. I decided to run in a half marathon to begin with, run in a half marathon. And I'm going to demonstrate to you the multitude of ways in which I look to make that happen, the multitude of accountability practices I put in place to make sure it happened long after I committed to it. I'm going to talk about that right after this. We're going to take a break now, and I'm going to come back and lay out the accountability practices that have had the most effect on me. You want to double your income. You want to create just the magnitude of movement in your life, of motion in your life. You want to actually achieve those goals you've been writing down, or those targets you've had in your head for years. You want to actually accomplish them. Stay tuned right after this, and we're going to be going through the key components on how to keep yourself accountable every step of the way, because it will set you free, hold you accountable all throughout the process. This is Paul Finck. This is the Maverick Millionaire, and this is the Maverick Difference Radio Show. I'll talk to you right after this.
This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show with Paul Finck. We'll be back right after this. At Lavish Lifestyle Vacations, the experience of a lifetime awaits. When everything is included, all your troubles disappear. Imagine a perfect family holiday without the usual stress, or a romantic getaway where luxury and indulgence surrounds you. Eat, drink, dance, swim. Escape, relax, explore, reconnect, and rejuvenate. The perfect all-inclusive holiday is just a few clicks away. Book your amazing affordable deal at lavishlifestylevacations.com for as low as $99 per person per day. Why just take the same old stress-filled trip when you can vacation like a millionaire? Leave all your troubles behind and create memories you'll dream of for a lifetime. Start living for family, for romance, for adventure, for yourself. All-inclusive dining, drinks, and entertainment designed for couples, families, destination weddings, and any other joyous occasion. Just a few clicks away at lavishlifestylevacations.com. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at lavishlifestylevacations.com. You're listening to Paul Finck and the Maverick Difference Radio Show. Now, here's Paul.
Hey, this is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show. We are discussing accountability and what it means, and what kind of role it plays in your life. What kind of role it plays in everything that you're accomplishing, everything that you're doing, everything that you're looking to achieve in your life. Without accountability, we would say things all day long, lying to ourselves and lying to others all day long, and never quite accomplishing what our fullest potential is, what we set out to do, what we set out to really make happen in our world. None of that would happen if it wasn't for holding ourselves accountable. Let me tell you a story, and it demonstrates all the different ways, or at least a good handful of them, of techniques and strategies that I've learned over the years. One is, so here's the story. Back several years ago now, my daughter came to me, and she was 17 years old at the time. And she had a couple different loves, one of which was running. She loved to run. She had started running a couple years earlier. She was now in cross country, and she ran, and she would run, 5 miles, 8 miles every single day. Just loved it. She had another great love, which was Disney. And I don't know whether any of you have ever gone to Disney or done any sort of travel there or been involved in their races. I had no idea. Only they run these different marathons, half marathons, 5Ks regularly, all in their park in Disney in Orlando and Disney World. And we had been to Disney World multiple times. Matter of fact, we've been there so often, we could probably be tour guides in Disney and just hand us our badge, and we'd start giving tours all over the place. We've been there so often, we know it well. And my daughter wanted to go to Disney and run in one of their marathons, actually a half marathon. And so she came to me and asked, and why was she asking me? Well, she wanted me to pay for it. And listen, I don't understand when you're running a race, however, that it costs so much. However, they're fairly expensive. Even though you're bringing your own sneakers and you're running on the pavement that was already there the week before, they're still very expensive to go and run in a race. And so she wanted me to pay for it. We also live in the Northeast, so we would be flying from the Northeast down to Orlando, Florida. So flying down and the stays in the hotel and all that, and she wanted me to pay for it. I didn't mind paying for it, only I was thinking, all right, send my daughter down there, or maybe there was something else I could do. And I actually committed to her. I tell you what, honey, instead of just you running in the half marathon, I'm going to run with you. That's right. I'm going to run with you. I'm going to sign me up. And as I was putting this out there, my wife committed, my other daughter committed, and we all decided to run this half marathon together. So here's a couple things. So that was the commitment part. That was where I said, yes, I'm going to run a half marathon. So that's the target. That's the goal. Now, some of you may think, all right, you're crazy. Well, you don't know how crazy I was. You see, I hadn't really done any formal exercise in decades. Business was fairly good at the time, and our company was growing really well at that point, and so we had already reached certain levels of abundance. And I had gotten what we might say is fat and happy. I'd gotten pretty comfortable just hanging out, enjoying big meals, and not moving too much. Well, it started to show. Hadn't done any formal exercise other than running around playing ball with my kids, and so in long time. And so I was out of shape. I was overweight. I hadn't run in eons. Now it was my commitment. Did I get in shape first, or did I commit first? I committed first. See, that's the key. Is you don't need to know how you're going to get from here to there. You simply have to know that that's where you want to be. That's where you want to go. And then you let everything else fall in place. So I committed 100%. And I committed to my daughter. Accountability technique number 1, tell a loved one. Commit to a loved one that you absolutely are going to do something. I committed to my daughter. That's important. That was an important first step for me, because I committed to do something I didn't know how to do. Get ready for a half marathon. We got about 8 months to go. Get ready for this. And I committed that I was going to do it. I started accumulating the information as to what to be doing and realized this was going to be a pretty difficult, or at least challenging, goal for me to get to. I had to get focused. I had to get real. So I needed to apply as many accountability techniques as possible. I'd already been trained on this stuff. As many techniques as possible to get clear with that I was going to run. There was no question about it. So the next step was put your money where your mouth is. That's technique number 2. Spend money in the direction of your commitment. So you commit to a goal or to a challenge. In this case, I committed to running the half marathon. The next step was not just committing to my daughter, only actually paying for the tickets, booking the flights, doing all those things, so that now I actually had set in motion a process that meant I would have to stop the process, stop the motion, and actually lose some money and actually put effort into stopping myself from showing up there with my daughter ready to run a half marathon. So technique number 2 and possibly number 3, 1, spend money in the direction, and 2, get yourself going. I love the analogy. You want to get into shape. You want to lose weight or start exercising. How often are you going to go to the gym? So you commit, I'm going to go to the gym, twice this week. Well, I'm going to go on Thursday is one of the times I'm going to go, and I wake up Thursday morning already knowing my commitment was to go to the gym at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Well, I wake up and I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't feel like moving at all, let alone going there and doing exercises and running and lifting some weights. And oh my gosh, it's exhausting just thinking about it. Here's what you do. Say, you know what? I don't need to run. I just need to show up. So I get up and I put on my uniform. You know what I mean? So I put on my sweats or my shorts that I normally would wear to the gym. I put on my t-shirt that I normally would wear to the gym. I put on my shoes that I normally would wear to the gym, and I've got it all set. Don't you feel silly if you get dressed up to go somewhere and then you actually don't leave? So the first step is put it in motion. Get things moving. So I'll get dressed in my gear for going to the gym. It'll make sure that I get to the gym, because not going to the gym after I just got dressed to go to the gym seems pretty silly. So my accountability is to get me up and dressed in the uniform. The rest will take care of itself. Once in motion, you'll stay in motion. Really key. So in this particular case, I was getting in motion. So I would buy my tickets. I paid for the tickets. I paid for the airline tickets, as well as the tickets to be in the marathon specifically. So now it's all set. It's in my calendar. I committed to my daughter. I committed to now the airline. I committed to the Disney that I was going to run in the race. So I committed to all these people. Now, have I exercised at all? Have I done anything at all to actually get ready for the marathon, or to actually show people I am going to be a runner now? I haven't done anything yet. I just committed to multiple different places. Now, how do you stay accountable? Well, 1, I committed to my daughter. That's important. I then proceeded to commit to the rest of my family members. I was going to get in shape and run this marathon. That's important. So I told them that I was going to do this. Now, if I did not do it, I'd lose face with my wife and all my kids. And for you that may not know, I've got 6 children, 3 sets of twins. So disappointing all 7 of them, my wife and 6 kids, is a lot of people already. I spent some money, was going to lose some money in the process, as well as if I backed out. The next step was, well, is it good enough? Is it enough just to tell your wife or your spouse and your kids and your loved ones around you? Is that enough? I would say no. Scream it from your rooftops. Tell everyone you know that, well, you are going to be doing, or you're committed to do, this particular task. Tell everybody. Tell them why you're doing it, what you're doing it, how you're doing it. Tell them everything. Because there are 2 people in this world. There are those people that absolutely want to see you succeed, and those people that absolutely don't. When you scream it from the rooftops, you're telling both those people. The people that absolutely want you to succeed, they'll come forward and they'll rev you on. They will cheer you on. They will give you inspiration. They will give you motivation. They will give you just inspiration to accomplish, to be, to do. They'll encourage you every step of the way. Unfortunately, the people that don't want to see you succeed is the majority of people out there. Only they don't want to see you succeed because they're not succeeding. And when you do, it makes them look bad. So they're going to come, and what's going to be interesting is they're going to watch you. They're going to see if you're true or not. And as soon as you stumble and fall and stop running, for instance, in this case, they're going to call you out on it. You said you were going to do that half marathon. Look at you now. You're not running at all. What happened to you? And they're oh so happy to bring it to the table. For many, many out there, that is motivation enough. Not to have to listen to them say, I told you so. So you want to tell as many people as possible because you want to get the encouragement from the people that want to encourage you. And you also want the pokes from the people that aren't going to encourage you, because those pokes will motivate you more, at least some, and possibly more than the encouragement from the positive group of people. So you're going to have negative and positive motivators just because you shared it to the world. How do you share it to the world? Well, we've got these things called social media platforms, and they're so great for this. You can put it out there every single day to your Facebook friends and followers to say, hey, I'm running. I'm going to go run. I'm going to go commit to this goal. I'm going to go whatever it is that you're doing. And you put it out there in social media so that they can come forward, and both types will come forward. Be warned. The type who are there to absolutely encourage you and give you kudos and say, man, can't believe you're doing that. That is so awesome. And then there's going to be those people out there that condemn you and look to tear you down and look to poke holes in your goals, in your targets, in your accountability techniques. They're looking to poke holes, and the motivation should be that you've strengthened up that dam so dramatically that the holes are going to have no impact. Let them poke. Only make sure to be able to close those holes up and move forward. Make sure that you have the information, have the knowledge to accomplish what you're saying you're going to accomplish. Commit. I committed to my loved ones. I committed to my friends. I shared it on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and I shared it to everybody. I'm going to run in a half marathon. Even though I'm a couch potato now, I'm going to run in a half marathon. You watch. And they did. People would watch. And here's a couple things. I started giving them progress reports. I started telling them exactly where I was in the process. Oh, I just ran 2 miles. I just got to 3 miles. I just got to 4 miles. And so they were engaged along the way. Again, some people looking to encourage me, some people looking to discourage me, but they were engaged. They were watching the process. And that meant I had hundreds of thousands of accountability partners along the way. I think that a couple more things. I actually made sure that I paid, or that I put money on the table, I should say. I put money on the table, not just in paying the ticket price. I put money on the table by betting people that I was not going to succeed. In other words, they would say, you're not going to succeed. I'd say, put your money where your mouth is. And I would bet them that I was going to run in the half marathon. And they'd take me up on it. Well, did that give me more accountability, more reason to stay the course than to give up? Absolutely. So I had all this money on the line. So I bet people, I'm going to run in the half marathon. You doubt me? Put your money where your mouth is. And they did. I will say that whenever you have a bet like this, man, it's not hard. You see, whether I was going to win or lose that bet was all up to me. What a great bet that was. I bet on me to win. And I did. I put it out there where, as a speaker, I enrolled my students to be accountability partners for me. This is what I did. Again, putting my money where my mouth is. And I didn't tell my team I was going to do this in advance, or they probably would have stopped me. Is I got up on stage and I was marketing and influencing people to be a part of a high-level mastermind. I sell high-level masterminds. At the time, let's say it was $30,000. It's a little bit more expensive with some of them now. $30,000, and that was per person. Well, this person also had a wife and kid, and so it was $30,000 per person. And I told them from stage, the first person to go in the back and take care of business, the first person actually pay in full for this summit, is going to get all their money back if I don't run the half marathon. Oh my gosh, my team would have killed me if I gave them the chance to stop me. Just the idea, they would have strangled me in the hallway. You're doing what? You're giving all your profits back, all your money back? You get someone on board to do the mastermind, and then you're giving all the money away? Yes. Because I knew I was betting on me. It was an easy bet. Doesn't that make sense? But here I am on stage, and I told people the first person to go back there and buy the mastermind, the first person to go back there and buy it will get a full refund when I don't run in the marathon. That's it. Very simple. Now, that person went back there not just with himself, with his wife and his kid, adult child, and it ended up being a contract for 3 people that I was going to give all of it back. So let's say it was $30,000. You're talking about somewhere around $90,000 I was going to give all back. I didn't run in this half marathon. Now we're talking. Now I put my money where my mouth is, and I made a bet, and I stepped it up, and I committed to my students, and I also committed. Now, are they highly motivated to check how I'm doing? They've got $90,000 on the line. Yes. That's what I was counting on. And so that person kept me accountable every step of the way, telling me what was possible, what I was going to do, what I couldn't do, or just watching the progress along the way within 8-9 months. So now I not only had the money on the line, I had some people that were really now looking to hold me accountable. They were highly focused on the results, on what was going to happen, and highly focused to see if I was real or not. As we get closer and closer, they started watching me more intently. Is he really going to do it? I want my 90 grand. Well, the bottom line is I did do it. And so I didn't have to pay them any of the money back. However, it kept me on task because there's no way I was writing that check. There was no way I was going to end up doing that. So I knew I had to win. I had to, for instance, run the half marathon. Would that keep you accountable, having that kind of bet on the line? I would think so. And what's really fun for me is that for anyone that knows my wife, they know she'd kill me if I ever had to write a check like that because I decided to make a bet on the whim and say something like that from stage. How crazy. And so I not only had accountability from committing to running with my wife and my children, I not only had accountability with the money I had already spent that would be lost on the race, I also built accountability in betting other people so that they were watching me and they were poking me. Hey, did you run today? Did you do what you were supposed to do today? Oh, and looking for me to possibly fail, that was some key accountability. And then you add to that the factor that assume I didn't run in the race, what would I have to do? Not just give back the money, but then justify to my wife why I was so lazy not to be able to get up off the couch that would then cost her and our family that 90 grand plus. Those were key accountability factors. So how can you apply this in your life and everything that I do? I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a speaker. I travel all around the country and the world and helping people stay on task with what they want to accomplish. Not what I tell them that they should do, what they want to accomplish. So as I do, these are some of the things that I make sure of. Have you told the world? You tell the world, they will then be watching you and hold you accountable. Have you told your loved ones? Have you put it out there in a big way in social media? Have you committed to yourself at a level 10? Have you put your money where your mouth is, making bets or absolutely committing to someone? I don't do this, I will pay you $100,000. I promise you, you'll get it done. Yes. So you start piling these motivators, these demotivators. What else could you be doing? What else would help you stay the course? I made bets with multiple people. I put my money where my mouth is. Oh, and by the way, that sharing, I shared all along the way. Every time I was on stage, I would talk about how I'm going to be running in a half marathon, and it's still several months away, only I'm nowhere near ready. Every time I said it, I was putting it out there and helping me stay on task and accountable to what I had committed to do. We realizes that is a powerful component. Continue to do that. I want you to reach your dreams, reach your goals. The way to do it is through these practices, through these techniques. There's a couple other you might be able to grab a hold of. It's in my Rapid Growth Method ebook that is available online. Simply go to www.themaverickdifference.com, themaverickdifference.com. Go there to check that out. Some additional techniques on how to create success. Stay accountable with everything you want to do. Actually commit at a 100% level on a scale of 1 to 10. Be a 10 on everything you have written down that you want to accomplish in your life. All your goals, all your dreams, write them down. And then share with the world. Put your money where your mouth is and have people hold you accountable in every way possible so that there's no way to back out as to what you say you're going to do and you absolutely follow through in doing it. Make sure that what you say you're going to do, you do. Make sure that you are committing it at a level 100, or in this case, from a scale 1 to 10, a level 10, and get everything that you want in your life by holding yourself accountable, and it will set you free to be able to do anything you want for the rest of your life. I want to thank you for our time together. Come join me anytime, anywhere that you can. I've got trainings all around the country and around the world. Absolutely come and join me in one that's right near you, in a city near you, all around the country and around the world. Make sure to join me. It would be my pleasure. This is Paul Finck. This is the Maverick Millionaire, and this is the Maverick Difference Radio Show. Till next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Paul Finck and the Maverick Difference Radio Show. You can listen to Paul live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern and anytime 24/7 on RadiostarWorldwide.com.
Take care.